on your mat. So come onto your back, lay all the way down. Let's bend the knees so that the knees are comfortable, the back is comfortable. And we're just gonna start with opening our feet a little bit wider than our hips apart so that we're able to kind of rock side to side with our legs. So relax your shoulders, relax your arms, drop your knees to one side. Good, and don't worry about the hip lifting right now. Don't force it to do anything. You're just lifting the knees and then dropping to the other side. Getting a good little stretch. We'll get moving a little bit. We'll do a little bit of core work, kind of engaging. But we're going to focus on articulation and movement of your spine here this morning. And one more to the one side. And then the other. Good, and we're just going to continue with a little low back before we start involving the upper spine. So let's extend one leg out and bring the other knee into the chest. I'm starting with my right knee here. You can start with whichever one feels right for you. And we're just going to give that a little hug. And while you're here, I want you to try to engage and bring as much of your spine into contact with the mat underneath you as you can. So engage your core a little bit, pull your belly button in, try to press your spine down into your mat, into your floor. Connecting. Good. You can even nod your chin so the back of your head is lengthening the neck. Relax your shoulders while you're here. You're just using that arm to hug the knee in as tight as you can. Good. Now you're going to release just enough so that that leg has a little bit of free movement without involving the pelvis too much. Take it out to the side. So you're going into lateral rotation first. I just want to be able to see you guys. So go ahead, stay where you are for a second. Okay, good. And then come out across. You're going to do the same thing. Now you're going to let that hip lift and drop your knee over. Relax your shoulders out of this. So there is a little twist happening in your spine now, but it's gentle. Don't force anything. We're just getting the movement, or the stretch really. Opening out a little bit of space in that thoracic spine. Keep relaxing both shoulders to the floor. Don't go any further than where both shoulders stay down. Good, then we're going to come back into center. We're going to release that leg, bring it to tabletop. So that same knee is in tabletop. Arms are down by your side. Shoulders are going to stay on the floor. You're going to allow your lumbar spine to move a little bit now. Twist to bring it across, and then you're going to open and keep it still and open it out. Twist to bring it across, just a little lumbar spine movement, open it out. Twist, bring that knee across, and open out. Twist across, and open out. Good, now I want you to bend that knee, put the foot on the floor, let that knee drop out for a second. So now the foot is on the floor, you're in that lateral rotation again. Engage your core so that you're pulling down on your abdominals and your pelvis is staying right here. Good, and then just bring it up. You can give it a little shake out and release it back to the floor. We're going to do the same things on the other leg now. So the first leg is straight. Hug this knee in. You want to pull it into your chest as tight as you can. And then start engaging in your core to pull your spine back down into the mat. So if you started to release and come away from the mat and create space, it's okay. We just want to try to connect down. As much of the spine pressing to the floor as you can maintain. Feeling that little bit of distance, a little bit of flexion maybe. Opening out of the vertebrae. Try to relax your shoulders. The arms are just working to hug that knee in a little bit. Good, and then give it a little release, just enough so that you're able to open out just a little. We're going to take that knee out to the side. Hold on to it, support it with the weight of your hands. Keep your pelvis engaged. So your core is engaging to keep your pelvis in place. You're not allowing it to lift here. Just a little stretch. Start engaging in your core to keep your rib cage down on your mat. Your shoulders are relaxed and down. Good, and then you're going to bring that knee across. This time allowing that hip to lift. Bring the knee across, but keep this outside shoulder down. So your thoracic spine is still staying up toward the ceiling, now getting this nice twist. Support the weight of that knee with your hand so that you're not hurting your back. Nothing should be painful. It should feel like just a gentle, easy stretch. Good. And the next exhale, you're going to engage your core and bring that knee back into tabletop. Now we're going to relax your shoulders both to the floor. Keep them there. We're going to let that hip lift a little bit to twist and then open out, but engage your core. Lift a little and twist. Open out and engage the core. Lift a little, twist. Open out and engage the core. Inhale for the little twist. Exhale, engage. One more. Good, then let that foot just relax onto the floor and the knee stays open. You're going to keep that other side of your pelvis down on your mat so your spine is staying neutral in the center, just giving that extra added little stretch. All right, now we're going to bring that leg up. We're going to bring both legs to tabletop here. So it doesn't matter if your feet are flexed or together. Bring your knees together. You're going to keep your shoulders relaxed and down. I'm going to pick up my knees. I'm going to drop them toward you. Now, let the knees go if you can and just drop them. We're going to take the upper body now and reach it in the opposite direction. So now you're deepening that stretch to one side. If this doesn't feel good, grab a pillow, grab something to place under your knees here so that you're not going as far with the spine. Good, now release the arms. Both come out to the side like a T, shoulders down. Engage your core, engage the abdominals. Pick up those legs or support them with the hand if you need to. You're going to go the other way. Same thing. You can use that hand, support the knees if you need to. Drop them toward the floor the other way. And then your upper body comes toward me. Just opening out that thoracic spine stretch a little bit further. Now, again, arms to the floor, head comes up to the center. Engage your core or use that outside hand to help the knees. We're going to do one more to each side. Pick up the knees, drop toward me. Let the shoulders go the other direction. You'll bring it back up to center. Engage the core. Come all the way through the center. Again, support the legs if you need to. Drop the knees away. Upper body toward me. Relax your shoulders. Good, arms back to the floor. Engage and draw back up to tabletop. Staying in tabletop here, little upper body. So we're going to keep the legs in tabletop unless it starts to bother your back. Arms are by the side, but we're going to bend the elbows so the hands are toward the ceiling. We're going to let those arms drop. So palms to the ceiling, inhale. And then exhale, you're going to pick up the hands, press the palms to the floor. The shoulders stay down away from the ears. Try to just rotate through the shoulder joint and then press back down. Rotate up to the ceiling, inhale. Pick up the hands, rotate down. No pain in those shoulders here. Rotate up and back down. Trying to feel that movement through the shoulders. Two more, rotate up and back down. One more, rotate up and back down. Good. Now from down, we're going to press those hands down toward your toes. Then you're going to draw the elbows up. Keep the elbows down on the floor. Your hands on the floor. So you're just getting that stretch. Press down and then pull up. Notice you can't go any higher really than your shoulders with those elbows, right? Because that will create an impingement in the shoulders. Press down and pull up. Good. Now add that rotation and rotate the palms up to the ceiling. We're going to do the opposite. We're going to go up, keep your elbows on the floor, and pull down. Try to keep your rib cage pressing to the floor here. Holding tabletop with those legs. Core is engaged. And pull down to your side. Elbows on the floor if you can. Hands on the floor, knuckles on the floor. Press up and pull back down. One more time. Press it up and pull back down. Take those arms, rotate them back to the side. You can extend them slightly so that they're more relaxed toward your side. Take a nice inhale here. We're going to reach the fingers to the ceiling now. And you're going to push up and away. Feel your scapula round away and then draw back. Keep your head on the floor here. Push those fingertips to the ceiling and then draw back. Push away and then draw back. Now, we're going to push the fingertips slightly away. Flex the palms to you. So it's like you're pushing up on the ceiling. Now, drop the shoulders back just a little bit so that you can feel your scapula lie flat on the floor, right? We're going to take those hands, engage your core, start doing circles like you're waxing off, right? Wax off, abs tight. Now, try not to feel like your body is wiggling all over the place. Try to feel like you're holding tight and strong in your core. Circle it for 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Now reverse that circle, wax on. Turn in and in and in and in. Abs tight, press those hands. Shoulders back. They're staying on the floor. Core engaged. Try to stay still. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and hold. And just give everything a release and melt into your mat for a second. Relax your back down, relax your chin, relax your shoulders, relax your spine and your core. Beautiful. Now place the feet back down on your mat, arms relaxed by your side. So fingertips are reaching long on your mat next to you, elbows slightly bent, heels are right underneath those knees for a nice little spinal articulation. So you're going to roll through your imprint, squeeze your glutes, belly button in. Articulate up one vertebrae at a time, coming into your nice shoulder bridge. At the top, hold for the inhale. Exhale, articulate it back down. Rib cage first. Try to keep your shoulders releasing and relaxing all the way through and release to your neutral inhale. Exhale, engage. Belly button into your spine. Feel each vertebrae lift up one at a time, staying neutral. Through. Hold at the top. Inhale. Hips are pressing toward the ceiling. Exhale, articulate down. Now, of course, if that doesn't feel good, you could hinge through the hips. You don't have to roll. Exhale, imprint. Squeeze your glutes. Press it up. Hold at the top. The glutes are still squeezing. Your knees are pressing straight ahead. We're going to hold here for a second. We're going to lift up to the toes. So now your balls of your feet are pressing. The abs are tight. Your glutes are squeezing. Lower the heels. Lift up the heels and lower. Lift the heels and lower. Lift the heels and lower. Try to spread your toes out as those heels lift. 4 more. 3 more. Your glutes are squeezing the whole time. 2 more. And 1 more. Lower your heels down. Now pick up your toes. Keep your heels pressing. That's it. So you're going to keep that connection there. Heels are pressing down. Hinge at your hip. Lower your glutes. Almost touch the floor. Squeeze and lift the glutes up. Keep your knees and toes going straight ahead as you hinge down and squeeze up for 2. Hinge down 3 and squeeze up. Hinge down 4, squeeze up. Hinge down 5, glutes squeeze up. Hinge down 6, they squeeze. Hinge down 7, they squeeze. Hinge down 8. 2 more, 9. Last one, 10. Hold it. Lower your feet down so your feet are flat. Toes are spread out. Articulate the spine down one vertebrae at a time, lengthening through. And release to your neutral. And back to the beginning, I just want you to drop your knees to one side. Let your back relax. Pick them up and drop them to the other side. Let your back relax. Beautiful. Pick them up. Excellent. Coming back into the start here. So we're going to take a nice inhale. Now I'm going to add on a little bit to these hip extensions. If it doesn't feel good to add the hip extension, feel free to stay in 2 feet instead of 1. Okay? So take a nice inhale. We're going to exhale, articulate it up, 1 vertebrae at a time, squeeze the glutes, press it all the way up. We're going to keep the right leg where it is, so it's going to be doing the majority of the work here. We're going to carefully peel that left foot off the floor and bring it to tabletop. Once it's in tabletop, we're going to extend it out so it's at the same height as the other leg. So you can really see what's happening there. So it lowered down just a little, it's parallel to the other leg. Perfect. We're going to keep it there, abs tight. We're going to press it slightly to the side and bring it back. Press it slightly to the side and bring it back. Trying to keep your pelvis right in place. Bring it back for 3. Press it out. Bring it back for 4. Press it out. Bring it back for 5. Press it out. Bring it back for 6. Press it out. Bring it back for 7. Now, keep that leg where it is. Lower your hips all the way down. Both of them touch at the same time. Put the leg on the floor. So this leg is on the floor. It's going to stay there for a moment. This other knee is bent with the heel right underneath the knee, right? Take a nice inhale from here. We're going to squeeze the glute. We're going to hinge up. You're not going to be able to go as high because this leg is down on the floor now. We're keeping this leg on the floor. Try to hinge the hip up and down. Hinge up and down. So just one leg is pressing you up, but you're letting the pelvis extend on this other side. Press up only as far as you can keep both sides of your hips going up. Good. 2 and 1. Hold it up here. See if you can take that bottom leg. Lift it. Good. Abs tight. Lower it. Lift it and lower it. Good. It just needs to come up to parallel and lower. Up to parallel and lower. Good. 2 and 1. Put it down. Set your hips down. Good. So on that, you're just hovering. You're not going way up. And yes, you could hold the hover with just 2 feet on the floor. You don't have to lower to 1 foot. Release it back. Put the other foot on the floor. Take a nice inhale from here. We're going to articulate it up. Belly button in. Squeeze up. Lengthen through. Inhale from here. We're going to pick up the other leg. Extend it straight out. It's right next to the other leg, parallel. It's holding right there. Abs are tight, or you keep 2 feet on the floor. Perfect, Cindy. We're going to hold right there. Take that leg slightly to the side and bring it back. Slightly to the side 2 and bring it back. Exhale for 3. Exhale for 4. Exhale for 5. Exhale for 6. Exhale for 7. Exhale for 8. Stay there. Lower the hips all the way down. Lower the leg all the way down. Good. So hips down for a second there, Cindy. Give yourself a little break. Now, keeping that other leg straight on the floor. Or if you're doing this with 2 legs, you're only coming up about halfway because you're just doing a hover, okay? So take a nice inhale. Exhale. Now, if you want to try this with just a little bit of a challenge, maybe without the leg straight, bend the knee so the foot is still flat, but it's further away from you. So that'll help. You can challenge yourself without going to the full extension. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. Squeeze and lift the hips up evenly on both sides while that other foot stays on the floor, and lower. Inhale. Squeeze up 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 and lower. Inhale. Squeeze and lower. Inhale. 2. Hold it up here. Pick up that leg and lower. So your hips are hovering. You're holding that hover, and that's fine. Try to keep your pelvis in place. Last 2. Last 1. Lower the leg, lower the hips, release it. Both legs straight out here for a second. Stretch your body up and away. Okay, a little more flexion here. Bring both knees in, hug your knees for a second. Belly button into your spine, stretch it. Good, let's come into our nice little rollover prep so we can kind of work into rounding that spine a little bit more after all that extension. Cross your feet at your ankles. Open your knees out wide like a diamond. Okay, arms are relaxed. They're not really part of this. They get to just take a little break. Palms can be released to the ceiling. You're going to think of the belly button pulling into your spine, getting as much of your lumbar spine down onto that mat as you can. It's a slow, small exhale to imprint. Inhale to neutral. Imprint. Inhale to neutral. I like to say that if I wasn't wearing a shirt, I'd feel my back doing like a suction cup to the floor, and then it would pull off to get into neutral, right? So it's like all of my spine presses down, and then it releases to neutral. Exhale, it presses down, no space, and then little space to my neutral. Exhale, no space. And I really want to try to feel this from the belly button down into the pubic floor, yes, your pelvic floor. Exhale, because that pubic bone is coming up toward your belly button. Imprinting. Knees are wide. Don't squeeze them together here because it's not inner thigh fun. It's lengthening out and using those obliques and that very deep transversus. We're not going to go into the full here with you guys. Not necessary. We're still working that lengthening of the lumbar spine, getting into flexion without doing too much. One more. Good. Now we're going to release it back and down. All right, so the next little series is going to be a little more abdominal focused, but keep in mind your core obviously is from your thighs all the way up to your shoulders. So If you want to release your neck to the floor, it can stay down the whole time. It does not need to be lifted in this. If you start feeling any of this in your back, the first thing I want you to do is put your head down, okay? That'll help you. So we're going to start in a neutral spine if you can, which means a nice natural curve in that lumbar spine, pelvic floor lifted, abs tight, legs are going to come both to tabletop, keeping the pelvis nice and still. We're going to take your hands and we're going to push them into your knees here. And we're going to take your knees and we're going to push them into your hands here. So you feel that engagement of the whole body. We're going to feel your hamstrings engage. I want you to feel your thighs engage here. I want you to feel your arms engage. Your shoulders are down, your abs are tight. Now, if you want to come into flexion, you can do that, but nothing else moves. You just come into flexion so you can see down a little bit. That engages the core a little bit more. This is already feeling like work, I hope. We're going to release one leg away from the knee, but the other does nothing. So I'm going to start with my front so you can see. My backhand stays right where it is. I'm just going to release one heel down and then bring it back up and push that hand into the knee. Release that same heel. Down, reach the arm, and press back down. Now I want you to go back to the beginning where we pushed on the ceiling and feel that. No movement in the core as one leg goes down. One leg down. No movement in your spine. You shouldn't feel like you're rocking. It's just a tap and a pull back. Tap and a pull back. One more tap and pull back and hold. Give your body a little release if you need to. Head to the floor. Good. Hopefully your core is on fire, especially on that side. Come up into flexion if you wanted to do it. Other leg now is going to go down and come back up. Keep that other hand pressing into that knee. Make sure you push the knee into the hand when you come back up and you don't feel your spine move at all. Tap it down and bring it up. Tap it down and bring it up. Two more. Tap it down and bring it up. One more. And release everything back. Give a little hug. Woo! Who says you need to do crunches? Not me. All right, let's work into the upper body just a little bit here. So let's rock up to a seated position. Grab a sip of water if you want on your way by. We're going to turn over onto hands and knees here. So I want you to keep in mind that same position that you were just in, on your back with your knees in tabletop, with your hands right on over your shoulders. Imagine them pressing into the ceiling, but now you're on the floor. You want to keep that same connection, everything pressing tight and strong. So think of rotating through those arms so that you're squeezing. Your belly button is pulling up and in. Your tailbone is lengthened out behind you. Your knees are pressing to the floor. Your core is staying super still and strong. We're going to go right into our swimming prep here. So let's start with our right leg, push it out, and then our left arm, push it out. Now we're going to keep that. Connect it right there. Keep the core nice and tight. Lower the hand and the leg toward the floor, and then lift it back up just to that lengthened stretch. Keep the pelvis in place. Lower to tap and lift it up for 2. Lower to tap and lift it up for 3. Lower to tap and lift it up for 4. Lower tap and lift it up. Good. No movement in that lumbar spine. Remember, it's nice and strong. We're going to hold it up there. Now, without rounding, I want you to bring the knee toward the elbow, but we're not rounding here. You're not collapsing. You're staying, you're staying up nice and tall and long, and then you're going to stretch it back out. So we're going to bring the knee as far as we can toward that elbow as far as we can toward the knee. Bring it in, 3. Feel your core super engaged. Stay super still. 4, 5, 6. Good. 7 and 8. And then give yourself a little release and relax back if you want to. Everything can relax for a second. It should feel like your whole body is working super strong that whole time. It should never feel like you're just kind of phoning it in and you happen to be moving the arm and the leg, right? You're engaging the core. You're pushing into the floor. The leg is engaged. The glute is engaged. The shoulder girdle. Everything feels like it's work without necessarily tension. So I don't want you to feel like it's tension. You just should feel like work. Make sense? I hope so. Hands under the shoulders again. Other side. So knees are on the floor. Press into the floor. Rotate those palms out. We're going with the left leg this time. The right arm. They're going to extend away. Keep everything in place in that torso. Neck is long. Tap the finger and the toe down and lift up for 8. Tap down. 7. Make sure your tricep is squeezing. 6. Your belly button into your spine. 5. Inhale down. Exhale up. 2 more. Good. Now that same movement, but we're going to flex. You're going to bend the knee, bend the elbow without anything else moving, and then stretch it out for 8. Pull in as far as you can. Is the side different than the other side? 7. 6. 5. Make sure you're in the middle. 4. Belly button to the crown of the head. 3. Stretch and squeeze. 2. One more time. Good. Place everything back down. Again, you can release your wrists here, release your back. Give yourself a little break. And we're going to work into a little articulation of your spine, adding some shoulder girdle work here. If it feels like it's too much on your wrists at any point, try rolling up your mat and placing the palms of your hands on the mat, but not your fingertips and not your the balls of the hands there, just the heel of the hand goes on the mat. Otherwise, staying in high plank to start. We're going to go from high plank to a rounded spine. So it's like long stretch on the reformer, okay? So press into the floor, core engaged, abs tight. We'll press one foot back. You want that foot to be flexed. It's very engaged. It's pushing into the floor. Connect, squeeze the glute, squeeze the hamstring. Then the other leg comes back with no movement of your spine. Here's your nice long plank. Now we're going to articulate from your toes through your hips to the crown of the head. So we're going to push the toes forward first, pressing the fingertips or pressing toward the fingertips with the shoulders. Now, tuck the pelvis, pull your belly button in, round your spine up, lengthening through. Feel the thoracic spine, round, 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 round. Squeeze those thighs, squeeze your belly button into your spine. Exhale now. Let your heels drop back. So you're looking at them. Feel your feet flex and press into the floor. Feel your kneecaps squeeze. Feel your quads squeeze. Press the hips toward the mat. Find your neutral in your pelvis and let the spine articulate all the way up, nice and slow, back to your neutral. Beautiful. Push forward toward the fingertips. Lift those hips, belly button in. Squeeze, round that spine as much as you can. Shoulders stay away from those ears. Now drop the heels back. Good. Press those hips down slightly. Squeeze your glutes, articulate your spine all the way up. Find that neutral. One more. Push toward the fingers. Then pull the belly button in. Feel that lengthening of the lumbar spine. Squeeze all the air out, ribs in, shoulders down. Press the heels back. Articulate your thighs to the quads, to the glutes, through the shoulders, knees down, both on the floor. Release it back. Woo! Good. So little Celsius here. If you want to flip those wrists so that the knuckles are to the floor, just rounding and opening out that other side of the joint a little bit, that's fine. If you want to reach your hands behind you toward your feet in that position, that's fine too. All right, we're going to do one more here, but I'm going to drop you off of your wrists. You're coming down to your elbows now. So your elbows are in your plank position. I'm going to have you put the palms on the floor so that the fingertips are spread out like starfish, with your elbows under your shoulders. Beautiful. We're going to take one leg back to our low plank and then the other leg back to your low plank. Now, I want those legs super engaged. I want you to pick up one foot and bring it out to the edge of your mat. Keep the core engaged. Pick up the other foot, bring it to the other edge of your mat. So now your legs are out wide. Abs are connected. Pelvis doesn't move. You're going to pick up the leg and bring it back straight behind you. Pick up the other leg, bring it back straight behind you. Try to keep everything still and strong in that plank. Let's walk out, out, in, out, out, in. One more, out, in, and in. Set both knees down and push away from those arms. Give everything a break. Now, if you were able to do one with no movement in your spine or not feeling like there was a little wonkiness happening in your pelvis, do one, hold and put your knees down. Just hold with the knees on the floor in plank, okay? You do what's right for your body. There should be no shifting in that lumbar spine or pelvis. That's what we're challenging right here. So making you connect all of this to hold super tight. We are going to do one more set with your other foot leading. So for me, that would be my left foot stepping out wide first and then the right, okay? Make the adjustments that are right for your body. Pay attention. Elbows right under the shoulders. Fingertips spread out like starfish. Engage the core. Press the left leg back. Find it. Connect it. Right leg back. You're super connected. There's no movement in the spine of the pelvis. Go slow with the first one. Left leg out. Keep slow. Right leg out. No movement in your torso. Left leg in. Right leg in. All right, now we'll go just a little faster. We'll go out, out, in, out, out, in, out, out, in. Last one, out, and in. Set the knees, round it back. Release everything. Woo. Working in the humidity is something. No AC in my house still, so woo. Okay. Yeah, it's warm. I'm so glad I'm not alone. All right, come on to your side. On your knee. So I want your knees slightly in front of you here. So I've got my elbow down and it's lined up with my hip and underneath my shoulder. My knees are slightly forward, but my feet are lined up also with my hip and my shoulder. Does that make sense? Yes. So your knees are in front of you. You're going to press into the hips, press the hips up with those hips slightly in front of you. So you're on the elbow here, hips are in front of you. Now you're going to take that top knee. We're going to open it. Your feet can stay together. Open the knee and stay together. Yes, open the knee, 3, and stay together. Now, if it's too much with the hip up, you could put the hip down and still stay here. 4, it's okay. 5, 6, bottom glute is squeezing. 7. On number 8, we're going to come down here. Okay, now we're going to do both at the same time. Hips and leg opens. Up for 8, down for 1. Good. Up for 7, down. Up and open 6, and down. Up and open 5, and down. Up and open 4, and down. Up and open 3, and down. Last 2, and hold up here for the last one. Leg goes halfway down. Pulse it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release it all the way down. Sit all the way up here. Get off of this arm. Arm can either come across if that feels good or over. Good. Release that, and then take your upper body and just twist toward the feet. Good, and we'll do one away toward the knees just to feel that nice stretch. And flip around to the other side. All right, so once again, your elbow and your hip and your feet are lined up here. Your knees are stacked slightly in front of you. If you can, press this hand into the floor so that you're holding. We're going to start up and holding up there with just this top leg, opening and closing for 8. Open, 7. Open, 6. Open, 5. Open, 4. Push, 3. Push, 2. Push for 1. Lower down. We're going to open and lift. Up for 1 and down. Up for 2 and down. If it's too much, you could stay on the floor. 3 and down. 4 and down. Push and down. And down. 2 more. Our next one, we stay up, open, now halfway down and push up. 8, 7, 6, 5, just that top leg. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set it down. Lift it up, get off of this arm. It can come across or over. And then just give that nice rotation toward your feet. And then away. Good. We're going to flip the legs back to the other side for a little bit of twisting. Now, I'm just going to say, technically, your first class is over. If you're staying, feel free to stay. I'm going to stay with more Pilates base because it seems like that's what you guys needed today. And you're welcome to stay. And I maybe won't go a full hour. Maybe I'll do like a 45 minutes. So it's up to you, Cindy. I know you might need to get off because of Eric, but I just want to let you know it's your You're good. Okay. Okay. So legs are comfortable. Now here's where you could have a little mat underneath or a pillow or something under your hip if you want to, because that's not the important part of this right now, the legs being here. We are going to add a twist and we're going to add an over. So I'm going to have you start by bringing yourself into the twist first. Go toward your knees. Yep. So other way, Stephanie. No, you were right, Cindy. Yep. Hands on the floor. And I just want you to round down and feel that stretch in the hip and in the back. Yes? Good. Then come back up. We're going to come up and go toward your feet. And then same thing. Round slightly down and feel that stretch. It should be a little easier toward your feet. Good. Come up. Rotate all the way to the front. Rotate as far as you can first. Hands down. Round it. Good. Bring it back up. Rotate away toward the feet. And then slightly rounding. Good. Bring it back up. Staying here on this side, I just want you to sneak this leg over so it's a little bit underneath you. So I've got my knee kind of stacked on top of my foot here, hand down on the floor. That's it. This time we're coming up for like a mermaid stretch. It's a modified mermaid though, because we're on both knees here and we're not really in a lateral rotation. So if you see my knees, they're staggered. My top knee is slightly back, so it's in alignment with my hip here. This bottom knee is slightly forward. Bring it up, come over, pushing away from the floor here to get yourself over that shoulder and feel the stretch right here, especially in that hip flexor. Yes? Come back down. Good. I'm going to sneak my hand even a little more close so that I can really get over that arm. Exhale, over, pushing into the floor, pushing away. Take this top arm, thread the needle, see if you can rotate under it, and then back to me and stretch like a rainbow. Reach under it, belly button in, and stretch like a rainbow. Reach under it and stretch like a rainbow. Two more. Reach under, stretch it. One more under, stretch it, hold down here, release it, and rotate toward your feet. Good. Last one on this side. Legs in the same place, hand goes in the same place. Come up and over just like you just did. Good. Now we're going to look toward the ceiling, open out behind us, big circle. Come back to me. Open out behind us, feel that stretch. Back to me. One more, keep your hips up to the ceiling, open. Back to me, set down, and once again, twist. Good, we're going to bring the legs in the other direction. Start with that wide mermaid-like position. So we've got one foot in front of, or one knee in front of your hip here, other knee slightly behind, starting with the stretch. So we're going to rotate the body toward the knee first. Other side, Stephanie. So this time you're going to go this way. Yep. Now round. Good. Bring it back up. Try to set your hips down. Rotate toward that back foot. Good. Bring it up. Rotate toward where the knees are. Hands on the floor. And round over, stretching right there. Bring it back up. Rotate toward your feet. Round over. All right, adding on. I'm going to sneak this foot so that it's a little bit underneath my quad, knee slightly forward. So my top knee and hip are all going to be lined up here. Bottom knee is slightly forward. You're coming up over that bottom arm, pushing the hips toward the ceiling, pressing it over, feeling the stretch right in the front of this hip, up and over, and then the shoulders doing some work. Come back down. Arm can either go across or you can go over, twist toward the feet. Good, come back down, sneak that hand a little closer if you want to. Come up, push away from the floor, shoulders down, neck is long. Good, stretch back down, set it down. Good, this next one we're gonna add that rotation down to the floor. So hand down, press the hips up first and come over. Now take that top arm, you're gonna press under, keep pressing away from the floor and then come back. Inhale, exhale, under and back. Exhale, under and back. Exhale, under. Open that stretch. Open, two more. Over, one more. Over, set it down. Rotate toward the feet. Good. This last one, we're going to take that out to the extension. So hand down, come up and over. Hold right there. We're going to rotate toward the ceiling. Open the arm, big circle for 3. Stack. Open, big circle for 2. Stack. Keep the hips pushing away from the floor for 3. Stack it. Set the hips down and rotate. Beautiful. Back to me. So sit down, facing the edge of your mat, feet on the floor. We're going to do rolling like a ball and maybe even rolling like a ball into standing. So from here, you're going to walk your feet in. Everything should be nice and warm now, and this nice rolling like a ball should feel like a nice spinal massage. So chin is gently down to your chest. Belly button is in. We're going to scoop the pelvis and round the spine as much as you can. You might want to slide forward on your mat so that when you rock back, you don't bump the floor. I can't see how much space you have behind you, but it looks like you didn't have room for your head. So your head should not hit the floor, right? Yes, you're going just to your shoulders anyway, and try not to let the legs become momentum for this. So you're here, you're balanced, your toes are pointing toward the floor, your belly button is in, you're scooped as much as you can, your shoulders are wide. You're going to inhale back just to your shoulders, deepening that imprint in the spine. Exhale up, point to the floor, and balance. Inhale back. Exhale. Try to feel that nice massage on both sides of your spine as you inhale and exhale up. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale. Good. Inhale. 2 more. Okay, now this next one, I want you to try to rock forward just a little further so that your feet come to the floor and you can maybe even feel yourself rock slightly forward. Inhale back. Exhale. Okay, now, I know for me, there is no way that I can stand up with my feet together like this. So I'm going to open out into more of an open leg rocker. So I'm going to take my feet, and I'm actually going to, you know what I'm going to do first? We're going to do a little feel first, just to open out those hips. So it's like rolling like a ball, but we open out the legs and bring the feet together. And then you take your hands and you dive down, and you wrap around so your hands come to the outside. Yes, now relax your shoulders and let your elbows press your knees open a little further so that you really are rotating in your pelvis here. Now, it's the same movement. You rock back, but you stay paused for just a second and give yourself a little clap, clap, come up. Give yourself a little clap, clap. Yes, and you want to open and close with the legs, not just the feet. Open, close, open, close. Yes, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, now I'm going to work into trying to stand up. So instead of staying like this with my hands, because that would be really tough to try to stand up with your feet on the floor and your hands behind your ankles, I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to rotate them to the outside, like rolling like a ball. I'm now, instead of keeping my feet together, going to let them open out a little bit further. So I'm in more of what's going to be a deep squat position, okay? Still trying not to make the momentum happen in the knees. I'm still making it happen with my spine. So I'm going to inhale, rock back. Exhale, I'm going to come up and rock forward and try to stand onto my feet in that position. It's okay if you don't get there. Inhale back. Exhale, try to rock forward into that position. Yes, open out your feet a little further toward the edges of your mat and try to pull your heels in toward your seat when you come forward. Inhale, exhale, feet. Yes, that's it, Stephanie. But here's the gig. You've got to engage the core like crazy to let yourself rock forward slightly. It's okay. It's a practice thing. So it's 2 things. It's hip flexion and spinal flexion, right? So we're inhaling to rock back, exhaling, you're coming up and trying to rock forward into that ready position. Much better, yes. Now, notice how your knees kind of came in a little bit. You want to really try to engage your glutes when you rock forward and press the knees back. Go ahead, inhale, rock back. Keep those knees open. Heels in, knees open, heels in, knees open. Cool, yes, better. That's actually better. It's okay. It's all right. So the way that I teach this a lot of times is we use a box or we use a block or something. It depends on, you know, what we have available. Sitting up from a chair is where this comes from, if you think about it. So it's being able to get in that squat position, rock yourself into it so that you can stand up from the floor. Now, if you're able, you would be able to come all the way up. But if you're not, do the rotation onto the knee. So instead of using your hands, good, that's it. Yes, now bring one foot forward, rotate it, swing it forward so your foot's flat in front of you, perfect. Back toe on the floor. Yep, now engage your core like crazy, push into that front leg, push into the back leg. Oh, yes, come on up, all the way up, go, up tall. Good job. All right, we're gonna stay up and do just a little bit of stretching here. If you wanna tip your camera or your device up just a little bit, you can, so that I'm not just staring at your feet, but it's up to you. I'm gonna move it so that you're able to see. Good, just because standing work is still so important, start with your feet, knees, and toes facing straight ahead on the floor. Good, and we'll start with just opening out. So I want you to pick up all of your toes if you can off the floor. Feet are out a little bit, they're right at about hip distance apart, right? Toes are straight up and the toes are all pulling off the floor. Now I want you to try to spread out the toes as far as you can and try to set your pinky down, your second toe, your third toe, your fourth toe, then your big toe down on the floor. And just rock forward and lift those heels for a second and then lower back down. So once again, pick up those feet, the toes, I mean. Although if you can pick up your feet, go ahead. Set one toe down at a time. Pinky toe, outside toe, all the way to the big toe touches down. Rock up onto the toes again. Good, set them down. Now, when you pick up, try to pick up the big toe first. See if you can pick up each big toe on your feet. Just the big toe and then set it down. Just the big toe, set it down. Just the big one, set it down. Do you feel all of your leg engaging? Do you feel all this work happening in your glutes maybe, in the outside of your glutes, maybe in your inner thighs? Everybody feels a little different. Good, now see if you can get the second toe up off the floor. It's harder. Second toe and then set everything down. First toe, second toe and set everything down. First toe, second toe, set. Now the third, first, second, third. That's a little easier. And then down, first, second, third. And then all the way down, first, second, third. Good, now the fourth, first, second, third, fourth, but not the pinky. Keep the pinky pressing to the floor and then set everything down. Big toe, little toes, all the way up. Pinky toe on the floor still, set everything down. One more. Big, second, third, but not the last, and all the way up. Now all of them. We're gonna go from the big toe, articulate out, and set everything on the floor. Keep them spread out. Big toe, everything up, and set everything on the floor. One more, big toe, everything up. Good, and set everything on the floor. Just rock forward and back on your feet for a second. To your toes and heels, toes and heels. Good, now, imagining your feet on the floor just like starfish. Remember our hands were like starfish on the floor and we were pressing out. Imagine that same thing here and feel like you're rotating, almost like you're gonna tear a piece of paper in half with your feet, right? So notice how the arches lift. Notice how all of those metatarsals engage. Now, come into a squat while you're in that position. Notice how you start to feel your glutes a little bit more as you come into this. You feel that position. Keep tearing that piece of paper wide with the feet. Squeeze all the way up. Engage your glutes. Press down. Feel how your whole leg is engaging and then stand back up. You want to feel that every time in a squat. So it's the whole leg. It's not just your glutes. It's not just your thighs. It's everything pressing up. Hold right there and just rock again. Forward, back, forward, back. Feeling those feet. Take your feet and rock to the outside and inside of your feet. So your ankles a little bit engaged. Keep your toes spreading out a little bit. Feel that little articulation. Good. Now let's just pick up one foot and give it a little rotation through that ankle. Good, take your toes, see if you can push them down into the floor. So my toes are over right now, pushing down. And then flip them and press the ball of the foot to the floor, toes spread out. Good, flip them, toes to the floor, down. Flip them, ball of the foot, toes spread out. Good, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. Take that other foot, pick it up, and just give it a little rotation. And the other way. Good, take the toes. Flex them like a fist, push them into the floor. Good, then flip them over and press the ball of the foot into the floor, spreading those toes out, feeling the arch of the foot stretch. Good, flip it over, feeling the top of the foot. Good, flip back, arch of the foot. One more time, go over and go back. Good, press that heel to the floor, bend both knees. All right, walk the feet back out again into your, and actually we're gonna go into a wider position. So a little, much wider than your even second position. We're really in a wide second. We're just gonna bend the right knee and just give a little press right there. Good, and come back up. And I want you to feel the inner thigh stretch on the left. And press it up. One more time, stretch, press. Now keep that right knee right where it is. Take the left toes and rotate them to the ceiling. So you're just gonna feel this little rotation and come back. Rotate and come back. You're keeping this hip behind the knee here. You're rotating this left leg to the ceiling and back. Rotate and back. Good. Put the foot down, stand all the way up. We'll do the same thing over to the right. Press that left leg out. Right leg is stretching on the inner thigh. Good, and push back up. So you're feeling the stretch inner thigh here. Foot staying on the floor, hip goes back and come up one more time. Stay down here. So now your left glute is behind that leg. Take your right, flex it. So now I'm gonna rotate through this whole leg, bringing the toe to the ceiling and then to the floor. To the ceiling and the floor. To the ceiling and the floor. And then stand it all the way up. Good, bring those arms up, inhale. Grab your left wrist. Stretch your body to your right. Over, over, over. Pushing with those arms, shoulders down. Bring it up. Grab to the right. Stretch to the left. Push the arms over, over, over. Good. Bring it back down. Release the hands. Take the hands back behind you. Interlace the fingers or grab your fingers or your wrists, whatever you want to do. Take the arms and press them away from your body. Take your hips and press them forward to me. Good. Rotate slightly to your left. Center and right. Center and release. Take your hands. This time you're going to concave, so you're rounding in a little bit. You can bend the knees a little if you want to. Hands in front of you, shoulders down. You can either keep the knuckles to me or rotate and bring the palms to me. It doesn't matter. Good. Again, keep this position, but rotate to your left. And center and right. And center and bring it up. And open out. And hopefully you feel like you got your spine moving in all directions and it feels good now. I know Cindy was feeling a little stiff before this and not feeling great. So we kind of pivoted and did a little different class than what I intended.